you for the introduction, and thank you everybody for attending today. I've really got three goals to accomplish with you. We're certainly here to talk about smart tech fees, but first, my goal is to explain why I'm here and what I seek to share. Why am I sharing? Because I have two hats I'm wearing. Just to back up for a second, I started the company 10 Federal, and we also started the company DaVinci. Um, and I'm going to share with you a lot of what we do at 10 Federal uh, because I think it'll be beneficial to you as a user at DaVinci. It's a beneficial to us as a user at 10 Federal. So number one, why share so openly? Number two, really try to articulate to you today what is DaVinci today. What does the suite of products represent, and why is that important? And then number three, how are we proposing you use it so that it can benefit you the most? So let me just kind of back up to my intent on sharing today. So let me just kind of rewind the clock on 10 Federal. When my brother and I started the company and started in self-storage in 2015, we didn't have two nickels to rub together. We Our office had three rooms in it, and before us had been most recently used as a massage therapy place. So my office smelled like lavender. And we started in self-storage, and we started doing automation. And that was difficult, and we had a lot of help from a lot of great folks, intelligent people, investors, early vendors. All of that help helped us get to where we are today, where we operate about 120 properties, about 5 million square feet. We're on our fifth fund, raising $150 million. And we are, I think we're probably one of the better automated operators in the country. And my point in telling you that is that the success we've had, we've tried to pay it forward. I have lost count of, I'm certain it's over 100 other companies we've invited through our offices. And I make an open invitation to you today. Come see us in Raleigh. We are open book. And if I can help you learn anything about automation that helps you, that's great. I'm the biggest believer in the American dream. We're products of it. We started with practically nothing and have done very well. I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And that openness and intent to share with others is really rooted in what we do here at both 10 Federal and DaVinci. And we want to make this product great for you, and we want it to be something that you're happy to have and is providing real benefit to you. To kind of double click into DaVinci today, I want to first really share with you our definition of automation. And Chrissy, I'm going to ask that you present a slide for me here. So put this in context, we've been doing automated self-storage for 10 years. And the industry continues to struggle to kind of wrap vernacular around this. You'll hear manned or not automated, and you'll hear unmanned automated. It's really kind of this like binary, either you're in category A or you're in category B. And what we have learned, and this goes into my investor presentations when we're out raising money, is the next slide. Automation really lives and dies along two axes. Customer satisfaction being the vertical axis, and operational efficiency being the horizontal axis. And in the center of that, you see now. So like that's us today. And this happens every week at 10 Federal as we evaluate new technologies to use or to create. And for automation to work, you have to push out on both of these axes. So like take the top left one. If you go introduce a new technology that increases customer satisfaction but adds a lot of cost, you're not getting anywhere, right? I mean, maybe you've come out a little bit ahead. Or in the other direction, if you put on an electronic lock system that doesn't work well, it might save you from an operational efficiency standpoint, but you might be reducing customer satisfaction. That's also bad. Where you want to be is top right. You want to introduce technologies that improve customer satisfaction and also improve operational efficiency. When you do that, and you do that over and over and over, all those little incremental improvements add up to make a better experience for your customers and a more lean operation and more towards what the industry calls automated or unmanned. And it, when you follow this graph and nothing else, that's how you succeed in automation. So now let me kind of dive into, DaVinci. Chris, if you'll hit the next slide. Um, Here's where we started. For those of you that have been with us, I think going back now, I don't know, 2018, 2019, we were just locks with a serial code on it. For all intents and purposes, we were nothing more than a glorified spreadsheet back then. You could take out a Sharpie and get a Excel sheet or a Google sheet and have one column of serial codes and the other column of unlock codes. And when somebody called you up and said, hey, what's my unlock code? I need to get my unit. You could take your payment and give that to them out over the phone. And we had a good business doing that. At the end of the day, we sold tens of thousands of locks. There was no charge for the software then. I mean, there wasn't much to the software. We were just Google Sheets on a phone with an app. And we had some smart categorization of lock statuses and stuff like that. And we started to build upon that. We could eventually integrate with StoreEdge and SiteLink and pull in the unit names and whatnot. But at the end of the day, we were a glorified spreadsheet. Now, we had hundreds and hundreds of companies sign up with us on that, but we've evolved. And so now I want to talk a little bit about what is DaVinci today. We're 3 products combined. And Chrissy, if you'll hit the next slide, you'll notice our locks look a lot different. In fact, many of you probably have not even yet seen our lock on the left. But this is our high collar lock. And what this is starting to lean into is we develop these systems for the customer to be able to self-serve the retrieval of that unlock code on their own. On the right was our first method that we introduced, which was a text to retrieve. So they could text that phone number. And what we did on the DaVinci side was we'd look up that customer by the number they text us from, caller ID basically, find them, look up their account balance. And if they're delinquent, text them back a link to pay. If they're current, text them back the unlock code. And the lock on the left, you see this is actually the same lock, front and back. So for those, there are parts of our population that aren't comfortable with QR codes yet, so they still always have to text. But on the left, that QR code will hit Tenant Connect, and we'll get into that in a second. But this was a profound step forward for DaVinci. It enabled the customer to be able to start to self-serve day or night. And most people were using us originally just for overlocks, but we started to see people put these locks on the vacant units. And in fact, have people start to use these, have renters use it as their primary lock. And there are a bunch of benefits to this. If you secure your vacants, we saw that people would stop moving into the wrong unit. They'd stop using vacant units as dumpsters. The operator could provide that lock to that renter when they moved in, which was better for the renter. They would often forget to bring a lock with them. And so this solved that problem. And it's also a strong lock. We sent this off to an ASTM lab. They have a system by which they attempt to break locks, and they measure how difficult it is. And this came in as an ASTM grade 4 lock, which is equal to like a Mashlock Pro Series lock. So that's the locks evolution. The next thing we married into it is Tenant Connect. And that same QR code that you see on the lock, many of our companies using DaVinci I've been using the QR codes on signage for a while, and we've just simply made it even a step easier by starting to put it on the lock itself. Tenant Connect is the interface for that renter to perform many functions. The first one was just to replace text to release, or at least be another version of it where they could get their unlock code. This time they scan the QR code. We OTP verify them. OTP verify is just the same thing Amazon and everybody uses, where they send you enter your cell phone number, they text you back a code, you enter the code so they know that you gave them your actual cell phone number. That's called one-time password, or OTP verification. And then the other cool thing, not to get too technical, but that OTP verification saved in that phone, and that's called single sign-on. Once you've done it once, you don't have to do it again. So the next time that renter scans that QR code, it just boom, pulls up the Tenant Connect instance, and it's in their browser. The beautiful thing about that is that they don't have to download another app. That is the biggest fail point for most of our operators out there is people have app fatigue. They don't want to download another app. They don't want to create another account. They don't want another password to remember. We made this so easy because that opens up in their Safari or Chrome browser or whatever they're using on a iPhone, Android, doesn't matter. Um, and we expanded the functionality. They can not only get their unlock code, they can pay their balance, they can move out, they can rent another unit, they can submit a work order. We have integrations with the AI chatbots, so they can interface and figure out FAQ things. They can change facilities if they're at more than one facility. We've tried to make it as useful and easy as possible for that renter. And then we've recently released, and we've been in beta for the last 6 months, but our next product is the gate operator. And again, what we're trying to do is simplify the technology, right? If you think about our lock, it's a mechanical lock, as you all know, no electronics, simple, reliable, low cost. Tenant Connect, simple, reliable web app, not an iOS or Android app, but something that opens in the browser. The GOAT, and hopefully we live up to the name, but the gate operator access tool. This simplifies things tremendously in the gate access world. No keypad. You don't need a keypad. We make the phone into the keypad. So that renter scans a QR code, and they have two ways to open the gate. They can OTP verify. So again, once we know them, great. I can check their ledger balance on the DaVinci side. If they're delinquent or if they're locked out in the system, the gate won't open. And we can even show them that message. You're delinquent, pay your bill. If they are current, the beautiful thing is that they scan the QR code to open it. We see who they are. We know that they're open. Somebody that should be allowed access, and bam, gate immediately opens. So you just literally scan QR code, gate opens. It's like magic. We also can present to them a digital keypad. So instead of having that keypad on that pedestal that eventually breaks, or people sit there and try to punch in and guess codes, we present them a digital keypad on the phone. And so instead of punching it into that physical keypad on the pedestal, they're just punching in the code on the phone. Same effect. Valid code, great, gate opens. And you can put OTP verification in front of that, so that you can't, that would prevent people from just sitting there and guessing. You would at least know their phone number. And so, Chris, if you hit the next slide, what does this all come together? You could say DaVinci Lock plus Tenant Connect, which gives you access to lock and the GOAT, is a full controlled site access system, right? We can do your gate. We can do, we are testing the GOAT on doors. It looks promising. We can do the unit access with the lock. But I want to describe to you that's really a step further. And if you'll hit the next slide, Christy, it is your on-site renter interface. Everything your renter needs to be able to do on-site can be done through these three devices. They can get in, they can get into their unit. Again, they can pay their balance. They can access your FAQ through the contact us chat interface. They can move out. They can add units. That is so profoundly beneficial to everybody involved. From the renter's point of view, they can self-serve. Everybody in this world is moving more and more and more towards self-service. Not out of necessity. I mean, if there's no manager there, of course, out of necessity, they have to self-serve. But their actual preference is to self-serve. They can move at their own speed. And we've worked so hard to make this a frictionless and easy product for them to use. And additionally, from the owner's side, before I even get into the economics, there's also so many other benefits. We have seen at 10 Federal, our call center volume go down about 30% by implementing these. And you don't have to implement all of them. You could do just Tenant Connect. You could do just DaVinci Lock. You could do Tenant Connect and DaVinci Lock, or you can do all three. They can all stand alone, but they work best in unison. We've seen our call center volume go down 30%, and we've also seen our break-ins and thefts go down a material portion. Some facilities never really had theft to begin with. Some had a lot. On average, we've gone down about 30%. And that's relevant. We actually own our own captive cell insurance company. And so, every dollar we pay in an insurance claim, really, really means something to us. And 75 industry average, 75% of all tenant losses are theft. And we've seen that figure come down about 30% because that lock is so much stronger than what most tenants use. And for the avoidance of doubt, at 10 Federal, we use it not just on our delinquent units, but we also put it on our vacant units. And we let that renter continue to use that lock when they move in. Now, here's where we're getting to the exciting part. If you've been with us since the beginning, you once paid us, I don't know, $9, $10 a lock. Then COVID hit, shipping got expensive. Lock price went up to $13.90, I think, is where we ended up. And it's been there for a while. And then we ended up adding some subscription costs about a year ago. And look, it costs money. We pay API fees. We have to maintain the software. And we have not been standing still. As you can see, we keep adding functionality to the system. So we've been, added the subscription fees, and there's some price increases there. But look, again, my goal at the top of this conversation is to put you in a position to love this product. I don't want to hit you with a price increase. What I want to do is find a way to make this not be an expense for you, but be a way to add to your bottom line, not just through savings, but through actually making more money. And so 18 months ago at 10 Federal, we tested it ourselves with smart tech fees. And we asked Christy to put a slide up for us. This is what we started with. We started with a smart tech fee of $3.99. And what did that look like? For our renters that moved in, they would move in, the lock would be on the unit for them. They would continue to use that lock. They'd have access to Tenant Connect, and they could self-serve. And we charged those renters $3.99 a month. And pretty soon we were able to, through move-ins, we started to see more and more usage throughout the portfolio, to the point that we became so confident, we actually just went ahead and put locks on all the remaining units, giving everybody access to Tenant Connect. And what that translated to by the end of 2024 was $60,000 a month of additional revenue to those 60 properties. And if you just kind of measure what that's worth to us, like we raise money from investors, we form funds, we buy properties, we generally, let's just say cap rates are 5%. That's $60,000 a month is $700,000 a year at a 5 cap. That's $14 million of value added in 2024. 2024 was a tough year for the industry. I mean, we all went through it. The rents were difficult to get to go up. This smart tech fee helped make our year. We were able to show great, strong gains to our investors that cascaded forward in our ability to continue to raise more money. And then the next slide, 2025, we moved that smart tech fee up to $5.99. We are now up to $80,000 of additional revenue across 60 properties that's used on, and that's $20 million of added value. And then in 2025, we started to reach out to a few select customers and say, hey, why don't you give this a try? And so next slide is AZ Self-Storage, small company. They have one facility, 296 units. They did a $5 even, and they're making an extra, $1,300 a month to the bottom line. And so that's great money. But let me talk about the customers. And Chris, you can take the slide away for a second. We measure our CSAT. Again, it goes back to that very first graph, right? It's great to grow operational efficiency, whether you're saving money or making money, that's great. But where's your customer satisfaction? Because at the end of the day, customer satisfaction ultimately is just going to be another name for rents, right? It's why a Yeti can sell for $200 and an old Igloo cooler that leaks and stuff sells for $40. Provide a great product, and people will be happy to pay you for it. And that is what DaVinci does. In this world where we are all trying to find ways to add revenue, I mean, my goodness, I just took the family to Disney World, and these airlines have come up with fees that they must have a team of creative writers just to name fees to start charging. The thing that I don't like about what they're doing is that they're charging us for things that already exist, right? I used to be able to bring a carry-on with no consequence. Now there's a carry-on fee. You used to be able to get at least a soda for free. Now you got to pay for the soda. I don't like taking things away from people and then charging them to get it back. I would prefer to provide something to the customer that benefits them. And that is what we've accomplished with the DaVinci system. That Tenant Connect interface becomes the surface level to your entire management organization. They can pay their bill, they can move in, move out, submit work orders, get their unlock codes, open gates, open doors, view account details, update account details. Everything that they call us for, we try to embed that functionality into DaVinci Log. And there's more and more functionality that'll be coming. But those were the main reasons people called us. And those all exist inside of that Tenant Connect web app. So that's faster for them and more convenient than trying to call somebody on a call center. It's available 24 hours, 7 days a week. And so the customer satisfaction has gone up in every single way we can measure it: Google reviews, internal reviews, exit surveys, the whole 9 yards. And at the same time, those same renters are paying us more dollars. And so, Christy, if you'll hit our last slide here. This is our plan that we are introducing for 2026. Again, we sent out updated pricing today, modest rent increases, or subscription increases if you just stay the course on the flat monthly subscription. But I'm so confident in the product that we've built, and want so much to enable this for you. Do what we have done, make your customers happier, and make more money at the same time, that we're willing to partner with you on this. We will reduce our software cost to you to $0. We don't make money if you don't make money. Not only that, but we're going to give you 10 free locks to get going. So if you put them on units and charge $5, then great. Probably after 2-3 weeks, you have 10 move-ins. You're going to be $50 of revenue. If that's good, great. Buy more locks, put them on more vacant units, have more people move in, make more money. We do a 20% rev share back to us. So you keep it, you get $4, we get $1. But I don't get anything if you don't make money. And I'm giving you the free locks with the QR codes on it. And that's important. I want to double click into that for a moment. So you have let's say you have a 200 unit facility. You're like, Brad, I don't want to go out there and antagonize all these renters and all that. That's so annoying. I want to keep using my locks to do the delinquents. How is this going to happen? How are you going to do this without making my life a living hell? This is how. With the QR code locks, you're only affecting the renters that are just moving in. So you take those 10 locks, they have QR codes on them. We're going to build your Tenant Connect web instance for you. You put it on your you can see in like storage, for example, which units are going to be up for rent next. You put them on those units. Those renters move in. They have the smart tech fee. You decide what it is. We have some people in the system I can see as low as $4. We have some people I can see in the system as high as $8. That just gets charged and just added to their bill. So if you're on storage, it's just like tenant insurance or rent or anything. That money goes to y'all. And then at the end of the month, we settle up, and there's a little rev share back to us. But again, you're not paying us if you're not making $4 at least for every one we're making. We are going to onboard this entirely for you. We are going to set up all of the integration, which doesn't take more than 10 minutes. We just need to do a screen share with you, and we can do a little like go to help type thing and flip a few settings and create the smart tech fee in your system. We have language that legal counsel has helped us develop to add to your lease. It just, basically it's a line that just says smart tech fee, whatever dollar amount you want. And then all you have to do is take those 10 locks, put them on those units, and you're off to the races. We've done this for dozens of companies now. Every single one of them is adding locks, adding revenue, and we're so confident that this is the path forward, that we are 10 free locks, $0 subscription, and we think this is going to be a tremendous success. I'm going to date myself here and tell you how old I am. I'm 47 years old. I've been at this. I started in high school. It was about almost 30 years ago. And I've seen fees like this happen twice before in these industries I've been in. The first one was in multifamily, and I was in that before self-storage. And I remember a group came in and they said, "Hey, we've got this nifty little device. It's called a water submetering device, and we can put that on the water unit going into the apartment, and now you can start charging that renter for the water they use." We said, "That's nuts. That's how can you take water away? That's an inalienable right." Well, we didn't do it at first, but then people around us started doing it, and now every single apartment project out there submeters water. In fact, it got to the point that became part of your value add strategy. Was that, oh, here's a property that hasn't submetered water yet. That's another $30 to $60 more rent per month. By doing it, everybody did it. The next one was tenant insurance. I mean, I remember my first meeting, I think it was Minico or somebody came to present to us. And I was very briefly in self-storage in 2001. And Minico came in, and I remember them describing, hey, you can require your tenants to buy tenant insurance. And we had just been through some other stuff on our multifamily, and I said, well, hold on a second. Aren't their possessions covered by their renter's insurance or homeowner's policy? And they said, oh, yeah, it is. But they said, they won't send it to you. It's too much effort. They would rather just pay you the $10 for your tenant insurance. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I cannot imagine that's going to work. Well, now everybody uses tenant insurance. So I think this is going to be the same thing, except it's better than both of those, again, because you're providing a product to the customer that they actually want, that they're actually going to benefit from, that they're actually going to be happy to pay you for. And at the same time, you're going to make, you pick $4, $8 a month. That seems to be a reasonable range that renters are very happy to pay. And you're going to make a tremendous amount of money off of this on the revenue side, but you're also going to have tremendous gains in efficiency, fewer phone calls, fewer thefts. You're just going to have a better experience overall. It's been a foundational part of our success at 10 Federal for the last 2 years. And I'm happy to share that with y'all. And I hope you have the same success we have. And from there, I'll turn it back to Christy in case there's any questions I can answer for anybody. And I am completely open book.
Thank you, Brad. That was great. Yes, like he said, it is time for Q&A. So feel free to drop any questions you have in the comments about any of our products or smart tech fees. I know we did get a few throughout the presentation. So just starting off with Jessica, how can I keep the keypad for renters who do not want to pull up their phone when they get to our gate?
Yeah. So let me answer this two ways. If you don't use the GOAT, what we do is if they forget their gate code. So for example, before we had the GOAT, we're on storage at 10 Federal, and we use PDK. And so if somebody forgot their gate code, that is what we present to them. If they're current, again, if they're delinquent, we never give them access, so we won't give them the gate code. But if they scan that QR code, then they would be able to do that. Now, if you use the GOAT, we anticipated some folks might want to hang on to their keypads. Better. Not everybody's going to be down for QR codes and all that. And the beauty with the GOAT is that it installs directly on the gate operator. It literally has 2 wires to connect to the gate operator. That's it. Piece of cake. You can install it in 10 minutes, and it works in parallel to any existing system you have. It doesn't matter if you're on PTI, OpenTech, PDK, doesn't matter. Your existing keypad keeps working, but you've simply added the functionality and optionality for them to scan that QR code and go that route.
Great. And then we have another one here. If the tenant uses the DaVinci lock as their lock, how do you ensure the unit is kept secure? Since employees know the codes and possibly previous tenants that use the same lock.
So this question was actually first posed to us by one of the public REITs. And so we went back to the drawing board and modified the lock in the following way. We call it, I'm not a marketing person, you'll be able to tell instantly by the following, but we called it the grenade lock. And the reason we called it a grenade lock is that the lock, when it's manufactured, has a pin in it, or a plug, if you will, blocking one of the holes. And so the first time you want to use it, you have to pull the pin or the plug out, and then you put it on the unit. The reason that's relevant is that you can close that lock with any code entered. And then nobody knows that code except for the system. And if you don't want your on-site employees to know the code, you can turn that off in the system for them. And that's what that REIT wanted. They didn't want their on-site people to know it. They wanted the computer system to know it so that it could automatically send codes to people if they paid their bill or things of that sort. And they wanted their call center agents to be able to see it, and also regionals and stuff like that. But that grenade lock obscures that code to that user group, so you can put the lock on. Local people have no idea what the unlock code is. Now, if it gets around to the point in time that you are going to do auctions or some of that stuff, you can then release codes to the on-site people.
And then we have another one here from Chris. I'm thinking that he's talking about 10 Federal here. So when adding the tech fee to tenants rentals, what % of customer base was lost? Brad, I think this would be great if you kind of just talk about like tenant pushback, anything that you guys received.
Yeah.
There.
You're going to probably call BS on this, but I will tell you, I am not aware of a single tenant leaving over the tech fee. We had a few people question it, but once we took the time to explain to them, hey, look, here's all this self-service. Do you want the self-service, or do you want us to take that away from you? Everybody said, you know what, for $3.99, $5.99, let me keep the self-service. Nobody wants to be out there 9 o'clock at night, not being able to get hold of somebody, or waiting on hold on a call center. I was honestly surprised by how little pushback or resistance there was. I think as our industry is doing things like adding credit card fees and stuff like that, again, a fee that nobody's getting any benefit from, that you're just, it's just a disguised rent increase. I think people appreciate that they're actually getting something in return for the added fee.
Thank you. And then Melanie here asked, what is considered an active lock? I'm actually happy to take this one on too.
Sure.
We just sent out an email talking about our new plans. They have lock limits. So if your lock is unscannable, damaged, some of our customers are selling locks to their customers, that is not considered an active lock. So it will not be counted towards your lock limit. Brad, is there anything you want to add on that?
No, that's it. Look, if you're using it, we charge you for it. If it's not being used because it's damaged, stolen, lost, or sold, then we're not going to charge you for it.
Yeah. And I think that wraps up the Q&A. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to reach out to us at any time. You can reach out to us at info@DaVinci Lock. And like I mentioned, I will be sending an email after this webinar with the webinar recording and just some more information on all of these plan options and how to enroll in the SMART plan if you're interested.
And look, I just want to follow up with what I said at the top of the call. Open invitation. Come see us. Anything we can do, any answer we can, any question we can answer on automation, we'll tell you what we're doing. Doesn't mean we're doing it the best way or the right way, but we're always open book. Happy to pay it forward. My email is just simply brad@10federal.com. Reach out anytime.
All righty. Thank you. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks, Brad.